Welcome to Sew with Mrs. Herbert. In episode 2, we will learn how to take body measurements, use a pattern book, select a pattern, read the front and back of the pattern envelope, and determine how much fabric to purchase. This is a Simplicity pattern book. When you're going to buy your fabric, you'll commonly see Simplicity McCall's and other pattern books so that you can choose the pattern you want to determine how much fabric you'll need. With that in mind, sometimes it's hard to find patterns these days. So if you go to the website simplicity.com, you'll find Simplicity McCall's and the other brand names all on the same website. So you may need to order a pattern if the store around you doesn't carry patterns. Okay, with that in mind, let's look at the back of this book. It has some reference pages that we can use to help determine how to take our body measurements. So I've enlarged some of these pages, but let me walk through a few things here. Here it's telling you how you determine your correct size, so what body measurements you need. But also we have to determine your body type. So in that case, Mrs. or women's are body types. Men's, infants, toddlers, children, or girls and boys, those are all body types. So once we read the information, determine which body type, then we can look at this chart and determine what size pattern we wear. So I'm going to close this and show you one of those charts. Okay, to take our measurements for a woman, we need the high bust, which is just under the arms, the bust, which is the fullest part in front, and then straight across the back, the waist, which is the slimmest part around the middle, the hip, which is usually around 7 inches below the waist, and the fullest part around your bottom. And then it says back waist. That is the distance from little bone at the base of your neck to your waist, and then your height. You'll notice, so this is Mrs. body type, here's women's body type, and you've got the same measurements that need to be taken. Now, looking at the men's body type, you've got chest, waist, and hip. You'll also notice that they have shirt sleeve length. So if you were making something tailored with long sleeves, and also for men, the neck measurement. Another one I've enlarged for you is the list for children. So we have, again, notice the pattern: chest, waist, hip, back waist, and height. Now I have an additional picture here to show you how we measure the crotch length. So that our pants are comfortable, you measure from the waist to the seat of the chair. So you're sitting down, measure from your waist to the chair, and that's how you measure crotch. I'm going to demonstrate how to take body measurements using this dress form. First, the high bust. Now, a real person, I would ask them to raise their arms so that I could put the tape measure directly under their armpit. And then I would ask them to lower their arms. And so the high bust measurement for my dress form is 36.5 inches. For her bust measurement, I want to go around the fullest part of her bust. Also, she should be wearing the underclothes that she would normally wear under her dress or blouse. And so her bust measurement is 38 inches. You'll notice for her waist, the dress form actually has a built-in ribbon that says waist on it, but since we don't, I put a ribbon around to represent what you'll do at home. You'll tie a ribbon around your waist, and that's where you'll measure. So I'll wrap the tape measure around. I kind of move it a little bit so that it slides to the narrowest part of your body, and so her waist is 28 inches. The hip measurement is usually taken approximately 7 inches below the waist. So I took a portion of that tape measure I told you in episode 1 that I broke, and cut off 7 inches so that you're able to see about how far down that would be. I'll bring my tape measure around the fullest part of her buttocks. Bring that around, and when I do, her hip measurement is approximately 40 inches. Now we haven't talked about what we're going to make yet. Our first project is going to be some very casual pants. Now I teach based on skills, so I've selected this particular project because you'll learn how to make a casing. A casing is the space where you put elastic or a drawstring, and then how to make a machine hem. When you know those two skills, there's a variety of things that you're able to sew, both in clothing and in crafts. So that's our first project. With that in mind, we're going to look to see what pattern size my dress form needs, just to practice. So we measured my dress form, and it said that her bust was 38.5, her waist 28.5, and her hip is 40. Because we're making pants, the most important measurement to look at is the hip. So I'm going to start by looking at 40 inches. Here it says hip, and I'm going to go across just like I would a multiplication table. Here's 40. If I go up, I'll see a large, size 16 or a large. Now that's the appropriate size that I need to make those casual pants. Now you'll notice I did mark the other two sizes. My waist for the dress form was 28.5 inches, and that's closer to 28, so I highlighted that. And the bust was 38.5, and that was the closest. So in other words, if I was making a dress, then the bust is most important measurement, and I would wear a size 16. I keep saying the dress form would wear a size 16 or a large, and again with those casual pants, same, a size 16 or a large. I measured a child so that I could make a child-sized pair of pants for my demonstration. So this child has a hip measurement of 25.5 inches. Remember, I'm making pants, so the hip measurement is the most important. So I go to my chart. I'm sorry it's so small. I enlarged it as much as I could. I go over from hip straight across. Here's 25. The next one's 26. Well, which one do I use? So now I'm going to look at waist. When I go up to waist, her waist is 21.5, and that's exactly what the waist measurement is for the size 5. So I'm going to go ahead and choose size 5 for the little girl's pants. I'd like to show you how this book is organized. You notice on the top, on the side here, it looks like a rainbow. Each one of those is kind of like the tabs in a notebook. They list the category of patterns in that section. So this one says dresses. There's a couple green sections, top and jacket, skirts and pants, and so on. So as I looked through the pattern book, since I'm going to do a sample for you, I'm going to make a child size. And so I've selected this. The picture shows a pant with a casing and with a hem, just exactly what I want you to see. Now, I could also make a pair of shorts. Maybe one day I'd make either one for a granddaughter. So once I say, oh, I want this one, now the pattern number comes in handy. So I need to write that down or snap a picture with your phone of this page so that you can go to the drawers that are file cabinets, look for this number, and select the pattern that you want. So here you can see that's exactly what I did. Now I'd like to show you, got a couple other pages marked. If you were making men's pants, you've got different pictures here. This one, it says easy to sew. I'm going to look at the drawing. The drawing shows the back in this case. So here's a pair of pants. It shows elastic. It shows a hem. Yep, that's what I want to make. So whether you're a teenager or a full-grown man, this would be a great pattern. Now here's another one. And here it says husky boys and big and tall pants. So it gives you a slightly different body type to help you determine which one's best for you. So this one says men's. This one's a little bit husky and tall. Awesome. Now, if you are going to make for a woman, there are other choices in this pattern book, but I want to show you a couple of them. This one again says easy to sew, misses, pants with length and width variations, and a tie belt. When I look at the drawing, see, a lot of times these drawings are easier to tell what you're making rather than looking at the model. But yes, you can glance at the model, then look at the pictures. So here, this is showing that it has elastic around the waist and a hem, and you could make bell leg pants or narrow. Now here's another one, easy pull-on pants, so that I know it's elastic, with slim or wide leg, each in 2 lengths, and a tie belt. That tie belt, when I look at it, the tie belt is for accent. However, this one has a waistband in the front and elastic in the back. So even though it's cute, that won't be our first project. So again, I'm helping you learn how to evaluate. There's one here that has pants and a skirt. Elastic, a hem, perfect. So you've got some choices of what you could make. This one, well, there's a waistband and there's some front pockets, so no, that's one could be a little too hard. So again, we're looking for a project that has a casing with elastic and a hem for our first project. So imagine I just selected this pattern number. I went to the drawer and pulled this out of the filing cabinet. Now it's time to study what's here. So I enlarged the picture. So here we've got the brand, the pattern number, the size, and in this case it has sizes 3 through 8, and then the view. Now, I used to always say, okay, and the price. Sometimes there's a barcode or something, but the price isn't always listed here. Sometimes it's on the envelope flap or on the back. But these are the main components. So let's talk about the view. When you look here, first of all, you see this cute little girl in her summer outfit. So it says A and C. So A refers to the top. You can see that over here. C refers to her shorts. And you can see the C right here. And then we see from this picture, this pattern also contains longer pants. So we could make shorts or long pants with elastic and a hem, just like we're looking for. Now this top from this drawing shows it's got a gathered ruffle that's made out of the fabric. That alone tells me this is not a beginner project for the top, but the pants are just what we want to make. So once again, the pattern front of the envelope has the brand, the number, the size, and the views. Now we're going to look at the back of the pattern envelope. When we look at the back of the pattern envelope, we see the pattern number, short description, what we're making, children's top, pants, and shorts. There's a pattern for each one of those in that envelope. Suggested fabrics. Now, you may not know what they all are, but if you recognize one or two, it gives you an idea of what area of the store to look for the fabric appropriate for the pants we're making. Notions. They don't list thread, but assume that you know you need thread that matches your fabric. So I'm making view B, so I don't need anything in the A section. Here it says B and C. I need 3/4 of a yard of elastic that's 1 1/4 inches wide. Now this is for a little girl, a different little girl than I originally measured. And so I'll show you from her measurements. Her hip is 24, her waist is 22, her chest is 23. We go by the hip measurement for our pants, And so a 4 is her size. Now you think, wait, but her waist is way over her at 22. Well, obviously, a 24-inch hip will fit over a 22-inch waist, so it's not a problem. So this little girl will wear a size 4. So with that in mind, we can finally get to finding how much fabric we need. So for view A, if you were making the top at size 4, you'd go across, you need 1 yard of fabric. And then here's where that interfacing, well, I'm not making top A, so I don't need that. But if I was, it tells me I need 20-inch wide interfacing, 5/8 yard of it. So let me say that backwards, 5/8 yards of 20-inch wide interfacing. Okay, pants B, that's what I'm making. And the fabric that I selected is 45 inches wide. Now 45 is your typical width for blends for all the fabrics suggested here. 60-inch wide is usually a knit. So I'm looking at 45 inches wide. We'll cross to the 4, size 4, and I've highlighted 1 1/8 yards of fabric. I finally know how much fabric I need to make my pants, 1 1/8. Now, I am going to tell you, nowadays with cottons that shrink and patterns that need to be matched, I've been buying a 1/4 of a yard more than this. And in the last 3 pants that my students have made, and yes, I still have students, they've needed that extra because of the shrinkage. So anyway, that's just a personal suggestion. Now down here, I'm not making shorts, I don't need this. It lists finished garment measurements, and here it says includes design and wearing ease. So the design, meaning the designer, how full they wanted it, add extra for flowy dresses, whatever, and then wearing ease so that you can sit and be comfortable, walk and be comfortable. So they're showing you, like in the chest, how much extra room you have and so forth all the way down. Now here I marked hip, and I looked up and I wanted to see the 24 waist, how much room is she going to have in her hip? 24 hip. And so that's going to be comfortable for her. And then it gives a number of other things. This one, finished side length from the waist. So measuring from her waist to the hem, or meaning where she wants the hem to end, is 23 inches. So that helps me know whether I need to lengthen or shorten the leg of the pant. Wonderful information, all needed to be able to sew your project.
You can find quality woven 100% cotton fabric at a quilt shop or at a craft and fabric shop. Here at Cherry Berry, I found just the right fabric for my first project. My sample for you is going to be actually made for my kindergarten age granddaughter, so I think this alphabet fabric in pink will be just what she likes.
Be sure to check the washing instructions shown at the top of your bolt of fabric. Use that information to pre-shrink your fabric. You don't need to add any soap or anything, just put it through a rinse cycle and dry it according to those instructions. We've learned so much this episode. One final comment though, after you pre-shrink your fabric, be sure to iron it so that you get all the wrinkles out. That will prepare it for actually pinning our pattern onto the fabric. Now, in our next episode, we're going to talk about sewing safety, the parts of the sewing machine. We'll learn how to wind the bobbin. We'll learn how to thread the machine. We'll learn about the measurements on the throat plate. And the most fun, we'll start practice stitching.